Hi, I'm back. You're having lunch with Laura today. I wanted to share some things with you. I had a great weekend. Hope you did. I got together with three of my buds, all demonstrators and friends, and we went to a house for 3 days, well, from Thursday through Sunday. And it's called Goldilocks, and it's here in Baton Rouge. This gal apparently has another house that I've never been to, but this one is specifically for quilters. Although I don't know why anybody would quilt when they could stamp, do you? But she allows all kinds of crafts there, and we'd been once before. I went back in, I think it was July, and oh, we just had a wonderful time. Lots of laughs, and just had a great time. And I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. Hang on a minute. There you are. Now, I wonder if, I'm not sure if you got all of that or not. But anyway, I've been cropping with some friends and I got a lot done. We had a lot of laughs. We ate a lot of junk, had some drinks. It was a lot of fun. And I got behind on my paper pumpkins. I subscribe every month, just like many of you do. And I had 10 up on my bookshelf that I just had not had the opportunity or the wherewithal to do them. So out of the 10, I got 7 done. I created 70 greeting cards, 6 gift bags, and 24 Christmas tags. So now I hope to be ready for when the holidays get here and any other occasion. So today I wanted to share some things with you. I'm not going to create a card, but I'm going to show you some things I've done, and I want you to see this absolutely fabulous bundle that is in the mini catalog that Stampin' Up! Has out now. And I'm going to tilt you down so that you can see me. And let's see. Now, okay, good. Looks like we're right on. As you can see, I have my March host code here. So if you go to my website, stampinatthebirdnest.com, you can shop. You'll find the host code there and a lot of other interesting information. Now, the set and bundle I want to show you today is called Mini Messages. It comes with all of these greetings, and it comes with this die. The bundle price is $50.25, and I tell you what, this is money well spent. And the thing that I love about it is these aren't, see how some of these are really tiny? Well, you don't have all of those cut up. It's only one stamp. And this is what it looks like. And there you have the greeting that tells you what stamp is what. And so you've got one stamp, and guess what? You only have one die. And while I'm doing this right quick, let me remind you that when you go to store your dies, be sure to store with the cut side up. And so this is going to match with all of this. Let me turn it over this way and you can see it. So I'm going to be using the Stamparatus today. Another tool that is money well spent. This is our positioning tool. We use this for repeat stamping. I love to use it on especially large stamps because sometimes it's hard to get right in the middle, get enough pressure. And if it doesn't stamp the way you want it, all you do is ink it back up and do it again. So let's get started here. I have a couple of pieces of cardstock that we're going to use today. This is Whisper White, and it's the thick Whisper White that I wanted to use. This is cut at 5.5 by 7, so that when you cut it out, you still have a little frame around it. Now, I'm just going to go through this. I had it all set up, and I decided that I would go back over and remind you how to use the magnets and setting up your stamp. So, it's very important to use your magnets. Sometimes the cardstock will stick to the stamps, and when it moves, it's never going to be back in the exact same place. So, that's rule number 1. The other thing I want to do, if I am using this for, let's see, did I mark this one? No, I did not. Okay, this is another tip for you. If you are, here's my pencil, going to be using this for more than one thing, and we're going to be coming back to this. So I'm going to mark the sides and the corners so that I know I can come back and it'll be in the same place. When you get ready to put your stamp apparatus, your stamp on there, the way you do it is to turn it over and set it on your cardstock where you want your image to be. Okay. Then all you do is fold over your plate, make sure it's stuck down good, and there you go. Now, I had this on here for a few days, and I had a little bit of trouble getting it off. And if that ever happens to you with any of your stamps, take your little, pick your tool instrument, take your pick instrument, tool, and you have a pokey end and you have a little spatula. And this little spatula will get up under the stamp and under the little decal that's on there. So that's another good tip. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to stamp this up with my Memento ink, black, and I'm going to go all around. Be sure to get right in the middle. Then when it already got ink on me. When it looks like it is going to be inked up real well, fold it over and give it a good squish. Okay, let's see how we did. Those look good. So there may be times when you want to do this one like a little bit darker. Let's see if I can get that one just a little bit darker there. And give it another press. There you go. So see how nice that turns out? Okay, now let's see what happens when you cut them out. Now I'm going to come back to this in a minute, and I am going to go ahead and clean off my stamp. Now what I use is I think this came from the automotive department. It's one of those cloths that is almost rubbery feeling, and when it dries out, it's stiff as a board. You can use your chamois, whatever you have, to clean it off good. And I'm just gonna make sure it's all cleaned. But I'm going to leave my stamp right here on my Stamparatus. And let me tell you a bit about the Stamparatus. It comes with 2 of these plates. There's one that fits right here so that you can do 2-step stamping, or if you've got one color here and one color here, you can mix it up any way you want. But it's a positioning tool that really stays right on. The price is $49, and that's something to save up for if you don't have it, because it really comes in handy. All right, I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when you cut it out. Now, let's get our die here, and you're going to, let me put on my little spec so I can get it just right. Okay, do you see that little heart? And they're 2 stars. If you will line those up, try to get them as close as possible, and then look at your other sentiments and see, that could go up just a hair. Oops. So they may not be exactly right, but they're going to be very close. So that gives you a good eyeball measurement to use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tape this down because I don't want it to move. And over here, and I'm even going to get another couple just because I've used those pieces of tape before, and I want to make sure this doesn't move. Okay, now we're going to go over to our cut and emboss machine. And put your plates in. I'm using 1, 2, 3. Then I have my cardstock and die, and another 3 on top. And I'm going to push it through. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep this here. Put our cam, as we lovingly call it, cut and emboss machine, to the side. And I want to show you all of these awesome tags that pretty much just fall out. Now, there you go. Look how perfect those are. Aren't those just adorable? When I played around with this the other day, I had made a couple of cards, and instead of stamping another one, I just picked some of my sentiments that I already had stamped. So this one that I showed last week, Oh Happy Day, is right there. So that came out of this set. Sending a Smile Your Way. Let's see where that one is. Well, where did you go? It's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Sending a Smile Your Way. And then on this one that I also showed last week, I just grabbed that cute little hooray. I needed something a little bigger than, say, the Hey Friend, but not, I didn't want something long like that. So I put that on there. But see, when you already have these done, it makes your stamping just that much quicker. Now, what do you do with all of this? Where do you put it? Where do you store it? Well, I saw one of the gals on one of the demonstrators had gotten this is a toolbox, the top, and it's all I have for right now, but she got a fishing box, and it had removable little sections that you could make them as long or as short as you wanted. So that's what she stored hers in. Like, she put the long ones together and kind of did them by size. Now, let me just give you some other tips on things that you can do with these. Okay, let's say you are making a card and you want to have a blue tag, and you don't want a whole sheet of the blues. All right, what I'm going to do is, let me show you this first, how it looks. Now, the reason I did this on thick cardstock was just so it would last a little longer, because this I'm going to use as a template. And you may have seen some other sets that I had out here, and I wanted to show you. This is Itty Bitty Greetings, and I didn't grab the other one, but this was Itty Bitty Christmas. So these are all pretty straight, and you can take your template and go down and see if the one you want to use, if there's room for it. And there will be, I promise you. Okay, there's a World's Best Father, a little hello. And look, even this little tiny one, let's see, I think it was on here. I Miss You could be used. It just barely squeezes in. But you could do Miss You, and that would be perfect. And on the Christmas greetings, you can even use some of these larger ones. Okay, like have a sugar sprinkled season, from our house to yours. Let's see, I think that's a little big for that, but let's see. How about Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year? Okay, well, this just gives you some ideas of how to use your template with your other stamp sets, and then you can pick out the sentiment and the shape you want. So let's see what we're going to do here. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me some blank sentiments. And if you have some blanks around, you can use them to get the shape you want. I'm going to pull this back over. Put plate down. Oops. Where am I? There we are. And clear off all my tags. Okay. So you can just create some blank tags if you want. Maybe to use with some of your other stamp set sentiments. So this time, instead of them being stamped, they're just going to be blank. Okay. So there you have that. Now, let me show you how, if I wanted to use a, let's see, I think I want to use this one that says, I'm so happy to celebrate these moments with you, right here. So what I'm going to do is put my template here and get it back where it was. Be sure to put your magnets down. That will start and come out. Then I'm going to take that shape and I'm just going to pop it right back in there. Okay, so it's going to go right there. I know you're not supposed to lick your fingers, but sometimes it's necessary, even in the grocery store. Okay, so what I'm going to take, because I'm not doing the whole entire stamp and I'm just doing part of it, I'm using a Stampin' Spot. These come 5 to the pack for $9. And if you have a re-inker, this will be white, and you're just going to put some drops of glue in and set it aside, drops of inker in it and let it sit. And then come back in a little while, and you want to make sure that the ink goes pretty much all the way down so that you know the whole little pad is inked. Now, another little trick that I wish I had come up with, but I'm copying from someone. This is a sponge dauber without the sponge. You can either sacrifice one or you can just take off one, because eventually after you've used your sponge daubers for years and a long time, they're going to kind of break up like dried sponges do. So just pop that off. And then this is Velcro. So one side goes on the back of your Stampin' Spot and one side goes on top of where your little sponge was. And let's see, the daubers are 5 for $5. So that, I did get that right. The uninked Stampin' Spots are 5 for $9. So I'm going to stick this on here, and it just makes it easier to, rather than getting your fingers way down in there. And I'm going to, this is Highland Heather, and I'm going to ink up right there. I'm going to turn it over. Voila. Okay, that one was a tiny bit off. Let's try it again. I think it's because I used a different, let's go back and use the same. That was the same template that I used in the beginning. So sometimes this is a learn from your mistakes. My watch keeps sticking to that. And I'm just going to turn this over. Oops, I've got it upside down. Here's my thing and my words are up there. Okay, turn it around. And let's get it back in here. Okay, so I'm going to stick it right there. And you know what you can do too? You can put just a little adhesive on the back. Let's try it again and see if this works. Okay. Now let's ink this up again. Okay, perfect. Yay, second time. So see how you can do that with using a blank one. Now, if you want to go ahead and stamp it on a colored piece, you can put that over your template. Let's see, I'm going to use this one. Make sure that it stays where it's supposed to. And let's see how this does. You want to be sure your tape is not where your ink is going to go. Ink that up. Now, let's see if we can cut it out. I'm going to go ahead and clean my little stamp apparatus off before I forget. Okay, now there are all my blank ones again. And you're going to get your template, and you're going to put this underneath. Now see, I got a little ink where I didn't want it. So when you do this, again, I'm going to use my tape. Yeah, they don't make this anymore. It was posted, and I couldn't find it, so I called the company, and they said, nope, they didn't have it anymore. So when I get through with this, I've got some wider tape that I'm going to be using, which is really good for labeling stuff, but you can just cut it off short and tear it, and you'll have little places there. Okay, so I've got it where I want it. I'm going to put it back in the embossing machine, get my plate on top. And run it back through. Okay. And ta-da, there you have it. Now, that's not the last thing I want to tell you about. You can also take these and layer them. You know, you don't always have to have like nested dies, you know, that go from small to large, small, medium, large, larger, extra large, whatever. You can use different shapes. Anything that's going to show on either side. And wouldn't that be cute if you were using two different colors? Because a lot of times I tend to just stamp on white and vanilla, but this gives you some other opportunities to stamp on different colors and add that to your card. So let's see. That could have worked on there and been very cute. So I have shown you a lot of things today, a lot of tips. I talked to you about the stamp apparatus and how to put your cardstock down, then place your stamp and put the plate on top, then the stamp sticks to it. I've shown you how to use your cutout as a template to use with other stamps so that you can make this go a long, long way. And just a few little things about like the Stampin' Spots and the Stampin' Sponges. Oh, and there was one other thing I was going to show you if I can find my little Stampin' Sponge. If you, let me grab one. Oops, there they are, right where I put them so I would have them. Okay, your sponge daubers. You can take one of these, and since I've been using Highland Heather, I'll just continue using it. Okay, ink up your sponge, and take your sponge dauber and ink up the edges. Then you can use a layer or not. but it'll make it stand out just a little bit better. So, I hope I have taught you a lot today and given you a lot of tips. I'll show you when I get my little tackle box how I'm setting up my little labels. And like I've told you in the past, if you have any questions or would like to see me demonstrate something, I would be more than happy to do that. And let's see if I can flip back up. There you go. Oh, and I got new glasses and I don't have them on. But they're cute, cute. They're purple, so I can wear them to the LSU games. So, here is the March code. Will be on my website. I'll put it, and it's also, I'll put it on the YouTube. And listen, I'm a little behind on my YouTube videos. I have been downloading them from Facebook, editing them slightly, and then uploading them to YouTube. And I've had computer trouble, and the place where we stayed, their internet connection wasn't the greatest. So anyway, I'm going to try to get all that done for you this weekend, but I'll put some tips and things about what I showed today, okay? I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you next Thursday at noon Central Standard Time for another edition of Lunch with Laura. Don't forget to visit my website, like my Facebook page, and subscribe to YouTube so that you won't miss anything. Okay? Bye. Love you. See you next week.